Hi everyone, welcome back to the review section. So there's a big reason why everyone's up in arms about this, and that is mainly because it is a person of non-Chinese ethnicity cooking in a very non-Chinese way of a quintessential Chinese dish. Up in arms. People argue that showing shallow effort to represent culture and ethnic backgrounds is called tokenism, when adopting something of another culture. Now, in terms of this dish, not being able to differentiate the difference of regional food and show that clearly has caused a bit of a stir. Now, this begs the question, kind of, what is cultural appropriation?
Differentiate.
If you think about a lot of things that we associate with different cultures, they could be classed as cultural appropriation. For example, if you go to Hungary, a lot of their dishes, like for example goulash, will involve tomatoes and paprika. Tomatoes and paprika are not staple foods of Europe. They are ingredients that you originally found in the Americas. Is that a form of cultural appropriation? I don't know. What about Paris baguette? I can imagine a French person going to Paris baguette and finding it to be an affront to his own cuisine. But does that mean it's really an affront to French cuisine? I don't think so. I think sometimes we have to take a step back and really think about what culture actually is.
Affront. Talking about cultural appropriation and tokenism, people were vehemently angry about this, right? But do you think the video deserves the vehement reaction that it actually got?
So I know a lot of people were up in arms about the video, but whether it deserved that kind of reaction, I wouldn't necessarily say it did. I know that Nigel Ng has since done another video with Miss Patel. And it was a nice collaboration. And I think probably the reason he did that is he probably felt a little bit bad. He felt like he didn't mean for her to be criticized in that way.
Right. The reaction was definitely overboard in some people's point of views, and I do think it was a bit too strong. If somebody was just following a recipe, which Miss Patel said she was, then should they really be should be criticized? Shouldn't the person who made the recipe be criticized, if anything?
I think maybe a lot of people consider their own culture and their own practices to be like something sacred. And if you introduce some kind of difference to it, it feels like you are changing that culture or even eradicating it. So people can be quite sensitive to that kind of stuff, and that's understandable.
Right. I mean, I completely agree with you. Some people are very sensitive to maintaining their own cultural traditions, and if they see somebody who is not exactly from their own background, they do get quite defensive, and they don't want it to be appropriated. But whether it is or isn't being appropriated is another question. So that does it for today's unit, and we'll see you in Unit 13. Bye-bye.